When Elle padded through the doorway and settled in the row of seats facing them, Troy's posture stiffened and he tucked his black curls behind both ears. Not much of a reaction, but enough to make Cara suspect he was crushing on Aelyx's sister. This didn't come as any great shock. With her mile-long lashes and delicate features, Elle was a natural beauty. Plus, she had a nurturing spirit, which probably accounted for her position as a medic aboard the ship. But Troy's timing was terrible. Elle's Lihan had been murdered in China a few weeks ago, and she mourned him in her own quiet way. Troy drummed his fingertips against his thigh. "Can't wait to feel the ground beneath my feet again," he said, mostly talking to Elle. He released a shaky laugh and bounced one booted heel against the floor. Poor guy, he had it bad. Totally alien whipped. Was her only reply. She secured her seatbelt and turned her silvery gaze to Cara. As soon as their eyes met, Cara felt the girl's voice inside her head asking, "Can you really hear me?" Cara froze in panic. No one was supposed to know she could communicate this way. "Aelyx told me," Elle went on, "but I didn't believe it." "Yeah," Cara said, sending an unspoken message in the tone of her voice. "I'm ready to get off this ship, too. Space travel makes me nauseated." "I hope you don't mind," Elle told Cara, "but I asked the elders to assign us to the same room." Then she added privately, "Aelyx told me to watch over you until he returns." "That depends," Cara winked. "Do you snore?" "Sometimes," Elle confessed, not understanding the joke. "But Aaron used to say it was endearing." She bit her lip and studied her folded hands, her expression heavy with grief. Everyone fell silent after that, electing to stare out the side windows into the blackness. Moments later, 2 final passengers joined them and the door hissed shut. Cara flicked a quick glance at the clones, then did a double take. "Hello, Cara." The young leader, Jackson, took the seat directly across from her, extending his long legs until the tips of his boots touched hers. He peered at her intently and smiled while his sister, Aelyx, lowered beside him and greeted Cara with a nod. Cara pulled back her feet and offered a hasty grin. His presence caught her off guard. Jackson and Aelyx were members of the Way, Lair's governing body, so why hadn't they shuttled down with the elders? Jackson continued to study her while fastening his straps. "Aelyx and I volunteered to escort you to the capital." It was like he'd read her mind, though Cara was pretty sure Lairs couldn't do that. Aelyx tipped her head and scanned Cara's face, not in a disdainful way, more like how a visitor at the zoo would observe an exotic animal behind the glass. Cara figured she should get used to the scrutiny. Individual races had ceased to exist on this planet, and with her pale complexion, blue eyes, and copper hair, she would stand out like a joke at a funeral. "On Earth," Aelyx said, "a year equals 1 planetary rotation around your sun, correct?" Cara nodded, feeling the rumbling engines vibrate the bottom of her seat. The shuttle separated from the boarding corridor with a slight lurch, and a thrill of exhilaration shot through her. They were finally leaving the transport. "Then that would mean I'm 17 years old, like you," Aelyx told her, then nodded at her brother. "And Jackson's 21. 21? Cara wrinkled her forehead in confusion, trying to remember what Aelyx had told her about the old Lair breeding program. Geneticists had played God for too long and bred the life out of themselves, so they backtracked, cloning citizens from the archives. But that policy had gone into effect 20 years ago, and it took 9 months to grow a baby inside the artificial wombs. I thought the oldest clones were 19. Jackson's smile never faltered, but his words turned frosty. "I suppose Aelyx told you that." He didn't give her a chance to reply. "Our population is small, Miss Sweeney, but I can guarantee that your Lihan hasn't met every clone on the planet." Whoa, clearly she'd touched a nerve. She tried to make light of the misunderstanding. "I'm sure it's an innocent mistake. Despite what Aelyx thinks, he doesn't know everything." Nobody laughed. Tough crowd, these ladies.